Hi everyone, it's Mr. Rodriguez, and we're here to finish our Unit 2 of Foundations lesson. We have been doing this for 4 weeks, which is the Unit 2, and we've been doing the best that we can to try to do what is supposed to be taught. So, in one instance, we will be writing capital letters on our skywrite board. And we are also going to be using our magnetic letterboard, which is what the most of the test is about. So, if you have not taken the assessment, this is not going to give you the answers, but it's going to give you the idea of what is going to be the assessment. For those who took it, I'm telling you right now, you did very good. You just need to try a little harder. So, let's begin with the most easiest part, which is the skywrite board. Now, this writing board has a sky, has a plane line, has a grass line, and has a worm line. So throughout Unit 1, we emphasized all 4 lines because we're looking to write the lowercase letters. But Unit 2 is about capital letters, okay? Capital letters do not have to touch the worm line. So I should not see any capital letters down here. I should only see it between the sky and the grass line. The dotted line will determine where the other part of the capital letter goes. So here we go. You take your dry erase marker, and you try to pinch it so that you have a good grip, sort of like this. And I'm going to do it this way so that you can see what I'm doing, but I should be doing it the other way like you do it. Okay? So we're going to start with capital A. Capital A goes diagonal. So you start on the sky, come down to the grass. Pick your marker up and go and do an opposite capital diagonal A, like this. So it should look like an upside down V. Now, to make it different, you go on the dotted line, which is the plane line, and you cross the capital A. That's A for Andrew, or Alexander, or Angelina, or Angie, or Angel, or any of those names that begins with a capital A. Capital B starts on the plane line, on the sky, comes down to the grass. Starts on the sky, comes down to the grass. You pick your marker up and you go back to the sky and make a bump to the plane line. And then another one bigger from the plane line to the grass line. And that's capital B. Now, if you're only looking at me on this video, then it's because you're not in my class. But if you are in my class, you should have a copy of this, and you should be with your dry erase marker practicing with me as you see me do it. Because it's practice makes it what? Exactly. Perfect. Capital C. You start on the sky, make a curve all the way down to the grass. And that's capital C. Capital D, you start on the sky, come down to the grass, and you make a big giant bump from the sky down to the grass. It never touches the plane line. Capital E starts on the sky, comes down to the grass. Then you pick your marker up and go across the sky, across the airplane line, and across the grass line. The difference with capital F is that we're only going to cross the plane line and the sky. So here goes capital F. You start on the sky, come down to the grass, and then you go across the sky and across the airplane line. And that's capital F. Now, as you finish and you know you don't fit anymore, take your tissue and erase it. Don't use your fingers because fingers, what they do is they stain and it doesn't grab sometimes the marker when you're drawing, when you're writing it. And it also leaves some dust that sometimes stays on your fingers and you don't want to have that. You prefer to have it on a tissue. Okay? Now we're going to capital G. Capital G happens to be something like the letter C, but a little more. So you start on the sky, come down in a curve to the grass, and then you go up. I stop at the plane line and go inside. That's capital G for George, Georgia. All right? Now we're going to capital H. Capital H starts on the sky, comes down to the grass. Pick your marker up and make a parallel line as well of the sky to the grass. And then pick your marker up and go across the airplane line. And that's capital H. Capital I, you start on the sky, come down to the grass. And then you go across right here. Go across like if it was a T, but now you put another one on the bottom and that makes it a capital I. Some of you start in the middle and go this way and that way, right? That's not how we're doing it because you're trying to do it going across. All right? Now let's go with letter J. And letter J starts on the sky, comes down to the grass in a hook. And then you put a line across from the sky like this. Like for Jordan, Jose, Jennifer, Jeanette. All of those names starts with a capital J. Capital K, we start on the sky, come down to the grass. And diagonally, I put a dot here and go in to the plane line and they make an opposite diagonal touching the grass. This one you tend to practice a little bit more because the capital looks different from a lowercase k, but practice makes it perfect. So it's fine. Capital L. We start on the sky, come down to the grass, and then right there, go across the grass line. And that's capital L. Now we're going to erase so we can have space for capital M. It's very important that you practice and practice and practice because it's not going to come out right off the bat the first time. Unless you have a perfect penmanship and a real good grip on that marker and pencil, it's not going to come out. So some of you do, and I've seen it throughout the year. That means you brought it with you from pre-K or even from home. But there are others who need to practice because it's not something they were doing it at home. There was something that they didn't do it in pre-K, or probably they had a problem. All right, so this is the time to perfect it. Let's go with capital M. You start on the sky, come down to the grass. Pick your marker up, go diagonally to the plane line. Go up again in a diagonal form to the sky, and then come down completely to the grass. And that's capital M. Capital N starts on the sky, comes down to the grass. Pick your marker up and go diagonally down to the grass, and then come up to the sky. And that's capital N. Capital O starts on the sky, goes all the way around and touches the sky again. It has to touch the grass. So make sure your O's And all of your capital and lowercase letters do not, what I call in my class, fly. When I mean fly, it means it's not touching the grass line, or it's not touching the skyline, in this case, the capital letters. If it's not touching the lowercase down here on the worm, it's usually the G, the J, the Y. Those need to be practiced because you are learning, and this is about you getting better each day, because smart is not something you are, smart is something you get. So now let's continue with capital P. Capital P starts on the sky, comes down to the grass, and then you make a little bump from the sky to the plane line. That's capital P. Capital Q is like the O. It touches the grass, comes back up to the sky. But right here inside, you make that little line coming and touching the grass. And that's Q, capital Q. R is similar to P. So you start on the sky, come down to the grass, pick your marker up and go from the sky to the grass, and then make a diagonal from the plane line to the grass line. And let me repeat that to correct it. You start on the sky, come down to the grass, you make a bump from the sky to the plane line, and then from the plane line make a diagonal down to the grass. I know what I said, so I'm aware. Now, capital S. Capital S starts on the sky and comes down like a swivel, like a snake, down to the grass. That's capital S. Capital T, just like the I, you start on the sky, come down to the grass, and then you go across the sky. And that's it. Capital U, you start on the sky, come down to the grass, touch the grass, and come back up, and that's it. Now we're going with capital letter V. Capital letter V is diagonal. So you start on the sky, come down to the grass, and then diagonally go up to the sky. And that's V. Capital V. Capital W. You start on the sky, come down to the grass, you go up to the plane line, come down to the grass, go up to the sky. And that's capital W. X says you go diagonally and go across. So I'm going to go from the sky to the grass, and then another one over here from the sky to the grass. And that's capital X. Xiomara Jimena is also spelled with the X on capital. Xavier also is with an X. And now we're down to our last two capital letters. Capital Y. Capital Y, you start on the sky, come down to the plane line, go up to the grass. Now that's a small lowercase v, right? But this is Y. This is Y. So the capital Y starts like that, and then right here in the middle, you touch it right on the grass. And that's capital Y for Yolanda, for many other names. Okay? Now, last but not least, capital Z. Capital Z starts on the sky going across. Then you make a diagonal coming down to the grass. Now it looks like a 7. And then you finish going across the grass. And that's capital Z. Capital Z. Once you've done all of these, then you're ready for the test. You don't know which ones are coming, but practice makes it what? Perfect. So, now let's go with the magnetic board. And make sure you put your cap on your marker so it doesn't dry. The magnetic board, and you can get a magnetic board from Amazon, and I'll show you later in another video about it. But this magnetic board, like I said, you can get the magnets from the 99-cent store and put it on your refrigerator. This one in particular is the one that I'm going to use when you're being assessed. Now, each one of you has one in the class, and that's the one that you use. But I am going to sound out the letters, those sounds, and you're going to blend it. So, an example is this CVC word, right? If I'm not mistaken, it says k, a, t, and I say that. You're going to do cat. Got it? The teacher's going to do k, a, t, and you're going to do cat. So I have to see that you blend with your mouth those three sounds, those three letters, those three phonemes. So I'm going to go now with another word. And it goes like this. Ready? S, e, t. And you're going to blend it. And how do you blend it? You say set. Set. So you have to blend it with your mouth. Now, those are only a few that I'm going to give you. But the ones that you need to master happen to be both segmenting and blending. Now, for those of you who didn't know, in Heggerty, we've been learning how to segment and blend a word throughout the school year. And it's been very interesting to see where the progression is going when it comes to this Unit 2 of Foundations. And it will continue on Foundations Unit 3 as well. And the reason I'm saying it is because the more you practice your listening skill, the better you're going to speak and the better you're going to use your strategy to blend, which is what we do, tapping. There's other ways to do it, but tapping tends to be a very easy way for many of the children. So, I'm going to put this on your test, for example. And you're going to sound it out and blend. So you would do this. P, it, t, pit. Again. P, it, t, pit. That's what you're going to do. You're going to segment and blend the word. I'm going to give you another example. Here goes another one. Ready? Z, a, p, zap. Now I'm going to change this vowel to this one. Now you say z, I, p, zip. Let's change that Z. And let's put this one. Ip, rip. Now I'm going to change the vowel. It's a nonsense word, so here we go. On, ron. You have to use your mouth. You have to put them together with your mouth. Now I'm going to change that vowel. and make a CVC word. And this one says run. So you have to tap it. I have to hear it. And I have to hear you blend it. Run. You have to. If you don't move your mouth, it's not going to come out. Here goes another one. Sun. Again. Sun. You have to practice and make it better every time you do it. Now we're going to use another one. It happens to be a color and a CVC word. Tan. Again, tan. So, yeah, I thought about it now. So, here goes another one. Ten. Another one you can do is men. Here's another one. Hen. Again. Hen. The more you practice these CVC words, the better you get at what you need to do. So I'm going to bring a vowel. You tell me. K-ot. Cot. Again. K-ot. Cot. Let me see. Here's this one. Cob. Again. Cob. I'm going to change that vowel and put another vowel. Cab. Again. Cab. Here goes another one with another vowel. Cub. Again. Cub. Now I'm going to change them all because I think we haven't touched a few letters. And I'm going to give them a chance. One of them is this first one. Ip, lip. Again, ip, lip. I like the one that we were doing on the digital board when we were doing them with pictures. I really loved it, and it really gave me a good idea with this one. Mob. Again, mob. And this is what it's supposed to be. You have to practice and make it perfect. So, if you practice these, you will be successful. And this is what's going to make you a great decodable reader. That's what we want you to be. Not just a reader, the one who's able to decode the words. So remember, practice makes it what? Perfect. And smart is not something you are. Smart is something you get.